the night that he came in from the wintry cold and damp. A giant of a man in an oilskin coat, and the bundle that told he was a tramp. He stood at the bar and he called a pint, then turned and gazed at the fire. On a night like this, to be safe and dry is my one and only desire. So here's to those that are dead and gone, the friends that I love dear. And here's to you, and I'll bid you adieu. St. Donegal Danny's been here, me boys. Donegal Danny's been here. Then in a voice that was hushed and low, he said, listen, I'll tell you a tale. How a man of the sea became a man of the roads, and never more will set sail. I fished out of Howth and Killybegs, Ardglass and Baltimore, but the cruel sea has beaten me, and I'll end my days on the shore. So here's to those that are dead and gone, the friends that I love dear. And here's to you, and I'll bid you adieu. St. Donegal Danny's been here, me boys. Donegal Danny's been here. One fateful night in the wind and the rain, we set sail from Killybegs town. There were 5 of us from sweet Donegal, and 1 from County Down. We were fishermen who worked the sea, and never counted the cost. But I never thought, ere that night was done, that my fine friends would all be lost. So here's to those that are dead and gone, the friends that I love dear. And here's to you, and I'll bid you adieu. St. Donegal Danny's been here, me boys. Donegal Danny's been here. Then the storm it broke and drove the boat to the rocks about 10 miles from shore. As we fought the tide, we hoped inside to see our homes once more. Then we struck a rock and hove the bow, and all of us knew that she'd go down. So we jumped right into the icy sea and prayed to God we wouldn't drown. But the raging sea was rising still as we struck out for the land. And she fought with all her cruelty to claim that gallant band. By St. John's Point in the early dawn, I dragged myself on the shore, and I cursed the sea for what she'd done, and vowed to sail her nevermore. So here's to those that are dead and gone, the friends that I love dear. And here's to you, and I'll bid you adieu. St. Donegal Danny's been here, me boys. Donegal Danny's been here. Ever since that night I've been on the road, travelling and trying to forget. That awful night I lost all my friends, I see their faces yet. And often at night when the sea is high and the rain is tearing at my skin, I hear the cries of drowning men floating over on the wind. So here's to those that are dead and gone, the friends that I love dear. And here's to you, and I'll bid you adieu. St. Donegal Danny's been here, me boys. Donegal Danny's been here. So here's
As I walked by the dockside one evening so fair, to view the salt waters and take the salt air, I heard an old fisherman singing a song. Oh, take me away, boys, me time is not long. Wrap me up in me oilskin and jumper, no more on the dockside be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green. Now Fiddler's Green is a place I've heard tell, where the fishermen go if they don't go to hell. When the skies are all clear and the dolphin do play, and the cold coast of Greenland is far, far away, wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper, no more on the dockside be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green, where the skies are all clear and there's never a gale, and the fish jump on board with one swish on their tail, where you lie at your leisure, there's no worry to do, and the skippers below making tea for the crew. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper, no more on the dockside be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green. When you get back on docks and the long trip is through, there's pubs and there's clubs and there's lassies there too. Oh, where the girls are all pretty and the beer it is free, and there's bottles of rum growing from every tree. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper, no more on the dockside be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green. Now I don't want a harp, not a halo, not me. Just give me a breeze and a good rolling sea. I'll play me old squeeze box as we sail along, with the wind in the rigging to sing me a song. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper, no more on the dockside be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green.
It was down by Egan's Corner, one morning I did stray. I met a fellow rebel there, and this to him did say, we have orders from the captain to assemble at Drumbar, oh, but how were we to get there without a motor car? Well, Barney dear, be of good cheer, and I'll tell you what we'll do. The specials, they are plentiful, and the IRA are few. We'll wire on Johnston Order, and before we'll get that far, we'll give the boys a bloody good ride in Johnston's motor car. When Dr. Johnston got the news, he soon put on his shoes. He said, this is an urgent case and there is no time to lose. He then put on his castor hat and upon his breast a star. You could hear the din going through Glenfin up Johnston's motor car. It was down by Egan's Corner, one morning I did stray. I met a fellow rebel there, and this to him did say, we have orders from the captain to assemble at Drumbar, oh, but how were we to get there without a motor car? Well, Barney dear, be of good cheer, and I'll tell you what we'll do. The specials, they are plentiful, and the IRA are few. We'll wire on Houston Order, and before we'll get that far, we'll give the boys a bloody good ride in Johnston's motor car. When Dr. Johnston got the news, he soon put on his shoes. He said, this is an urgent case and there is no time to lose. He then put on his castor hat and upon his breast a star. You could hear the din going through Glenfin up Johnston's motor car. Well, when he got to the Reeling Bridge, the rebels he saw there, he knew the game was up with him, for at him they did stare. He said, I have a permit to travel near and far. You can stick your English permit, we want your motor car. What will my loyal brethren say whene'er they hear the news? My car, it has been commandeered by the rebels at Dunluce. We'll give you a receipt for it, all signed by Captain Mare. And when Ireland gets her freedom, you'll get your motor car. They set the car in motion and filled it to the brim. With rifles and with bayonets, this made old Johnston grim. And Barney hoisted the Sinn Féin flag and it fluttered like a star. And they gave 3 cheers for the IRA and Johnston's motor car.
The gas yard wall, and we laughed through the smoke and the smell. Going home in the rain, running up the dark lane, past the jail and down behind the fountain. Those were happy days in so many, many ways, in the town I loved so well. In the early morning, the shirt factory horn called women from Cregan, the moor and the bog, while the men on the dole played a mother's role, fed the children and then trained the dog. And when times got tough, there was just about enough, but they saw it through without complaining. For deep inside was a burning pride in the town I loved so well. There was music there in the dairy air, like a language that we all could understand. I remember the day that I earned my first pay, when I played in a small
I spent my youth, and to tell you the truth, I was sad to leave it all behind me, for I'd learned about life, and I'd found a wife in the town I loved so well. When I returned, how my eyes have burned to see how a town could be brought to its knees by the armored cars and the bombed out bars and the gas that hangs on to every breeze. Now the army's installed by that old gas yard wall, and the damned barbed wire gets higher and higher. With their tanks and their guns, oh my God, what have they done to the town I loved so well? Now the music's gone, but they carry on, for their spirit's been bruised, never broken. They will not forget, but their hearts are set on tomorrow and peace once again. For what's done is done, and what's won is won, and what's lost is lost and gone forever. I can only pray for a bright, brand new day in the town I love so.
Oh, Father dear, and I often hear you speak of Erin's Isle. Her lofty scenes, her valleys green, her mountains rude and wild. They say it is a lovely land wherein a prince might dwell. Then why did you abandon it? Oh, the reason to me tell. My son, I loved my native land with energy and pride, till a blight came over all my crops, and my sheep and cattle died. The rents and taxes were to pay, and I could not them redeem, and that's the cruel reason I left old Skibereen. 'Tis well I do remember the bleak November day, when the bailiff and the landlord came to drive us all away. They set the roof on fire with their cursed English spleen, and that's another reason I left old Skibereen. Oh, your mother, too, God rest her soul, lay on the snowy ground. She fainted in her anguishing seeing the desolation round. She never rose, but passed away from life to immortal dreams. And that's another reason I left old Skibereen. Oh, you were only 2 years old, and feeble was your frame. I could not leave you with my friends, for you bore your father's name. I wrapped you in my coat the more at the dead of the night unseen. And I heaved a sigh, and I said goodbye to dear old Skibereen. Oh, well, father dear, and the day will come when on vengeance we will call. And Irishmen, both stout and tall, will rally unto the call. I'll be the man to lead the van beneath the flag of green. And loud and high we'll raise the cry, revenge for Skibereen.
You can sing of all your sporting heroes like Mr. McGrath and the rest, but there's a horse in the county of Wicklow that's beaten all of the best. The slowest humper, the lowest jumper, but great for a stroll round the park. The servant lasses, the upper classes, and daughters of millionaires, they all would appear from far and near for a ride on Ronnie's mare, for a ride on Ronnie Drew's mare. In Greystone's town on a Sunday morning, a crowd will always appear to catch a glimpse of the famous mare they call the horse of the year. She's the best at racing, but sees no disgrace in pulling a big old milk cart. The servant lasses, the upper classes, and daughters of millionaires, they all would appear from far and near for a ride on Ronnie's mare, for a ride on Ronnie Drew's mare. In the Burnaby bar, boys talked of the horse show and said she ought to be showed. She was tutored and trained by the two Evans boys on the grass by the side of the road. Though she won up in Dublin without any troubling, next day she was back in the cart. The servant lasses, the upper classes, and daughters of millionaires, they all would appear from far and near for a ride on Ronnie's mare, for a ride on Ronnie Drew's mare. Joe Sweeney, the punter, suggested one day they should enter her in for a race. So all was arranged, Billy Fox would be jockey and Newcastle would be the place. But the boys all agreed that even if she succeeded, she'd go back to deliver in milk. The servant lasses, the upper classes, and daughters of millionaires, they all would appear from far and near for a ride on Ronnie's mare, for a ride on Ronnie Drew's mare. Well, the boys were there to lay out their readies and cheer the horse past the post. But when Fox had a look at the competition, he turned as white as a ghost. We'll have some hassle to beat Willie Castle, says Ronnie, for God's sake. Oh, the servant lasses, the upper classes, and daughters of millionaires, they all would appear appear from far and near for a ride on Ronnie's mare, for a ride on Ronnie Drew's mare. The race, it was tough, but the mare, she was flying. They knew that she couldn't lose. But in the midst of the celebrations arrived some tragic news. In her finest hour, all the milk had gone sour, so now she was out of a job. The serving lasses and upper classes and daughters of millionaires, they all would appear from far and near for a ride on Ronnie's mare, for a ride on Ronnie Drew's mare.
I've been a wild rover for many a year. I've spent all me money on whiskey and beer. Listen. But now I'm returning with gold in great store, and I never will pay the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I went into an alehouse I used to frequent. I told the landlady me money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such custom as yours I can have any day, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I then took from my pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She says I have whiskies and the wines of the best, and the words that you told me were only in jest, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I'll go home to my parents, confess what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon their prodigal son. And when they've caressed me as oft times before, then I never will pay the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. One last time, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been asked to sing a song which has 7 verses, but we're only allowed to sing 5 of them. Oh, as I was home on a Monday night, as drunk could be, I saw a horse outside the door, where my old horse should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me, who owns that horse outside the door, where my old horse should be? You're drunk, you silly old fool, and still you cannot see. That's a lovely sow that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but a saddle on a sow, sure I never saw before. And as I went home on a Tuesday night, as drunk could be, I saw a coat behind the door, where my old coat should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, Will you kindly tell to me who owns that coach behind the door where my old coach should be? You drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. That's a woolen blanket that my mother sent to me. Well, there's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but buttons in a blanket sure I never saw before. And as I went home on a Wednesday night, as drunk could be, I saw me pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns that pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be? You drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. That's a lovely tin whistle that my mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but tobacco in a tin whistle sure I never saw before. And as I went home on a Thursday night, as drunk could be, I saw two boots beneath the bed where my old boots should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns them boots beneath the bed where my old boots should be? You drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. They're two lovely geranium pots me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but laces in geranium pots I never saw before. And as I went home on a Friday night, as drunk could be, I saw a head inside the bed where my old head should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns that head with you in the bed where my old head should be? Well, you drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. That's a baby boy that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but a baby boy with his whiskers on sure I never saw before. La 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 la.
I met my love by the gasworks road. Dreamed a dream by the old canal. A kiss to my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town. Clouds are drifting across the moon. Cats are prowling on their beat. Springs a girl from the streets at night. Dirty old town, dirty old town. I heard a siren from the dogs. Saw a train set the night on fire. Smelled the spring of the smoky wind. Dirty old town, dirty old town. I'm going to make a good sharp axe, shining steel, tempered in the fire. I'll chop you down like an old dead tree. That's what you're saying. Dirty old town, dirty old town. I met my love by the gasworks croft. Dreamed a dream by the old canal. A kiss to my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town. far from shore. The good old ship is tossing about, and the rigging is all torn. And the secrets of my mind, my dear, you're the girl I do adore. And still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are the girl I do adore. And still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are. And now the storm is over. We are safe and well. We'll go into a public house and we'll sit and drink like hell. We will bring strong ale and porter and make the rafters roar. And when our money is all spent, we'll go to see once more. Fine girl, you are the girl I do adore. And still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are. God bless you all. See you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. It goes like this. As I was going over the far-famed Kerry Mountains, I met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol and I then produced my rapier, saying stand and deliver, for you are a bold deceiver, mushering da-ba-doo-da-ba-da. Whack Paul the daddy-o, whack Paul the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I counted out his money and it made a pretty penny. I put it in me pocket and I took it home to Jenny. She sighed and she swore that she never would deceive me, but the devil take the women, for they never can be easy, mushering da-ba-doo-da-ba-da. Whack Paul the daddy-o, whack Paul the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I went unto my chamber all for to take a slumber. I dreamt of golden jewels and for sure it was no wonder. But Jenny drew me charges and she filled them up with water, then sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter, mushering da-ba-doo-da-ba-da. Whack Paul the daddy-o, whack Paul the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. And 'twas early in the morning, just before I rose to travel, up comes a band of footmen and likewise Captain Farrell. I first produced my pistol, for she'd stolen away my rapier. I couldn't shoot the water, so a prisoner I was taken, mushering da-ba-doo-da-ba-da. Whack Paul the daddy-o, whack Paul the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. And if anyone can aid me, 'tis my brother in the army. If I can find a station in Cork or in Killarney, and if he'll go with me, we'll go roaming in Kilkenny. And I'm sure he'll treat me better than my own, my sporting Jenny, mushering da-ba-doo-da-ba-da. Whack Paul the daddy-o, whack Paul the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar, and mushering da-ba-doo-da-ba-da. Whack Paul the daddy-o, whack Paul the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Whoop!
Thank you.
Tim Finnigan lived in Walking Street, a gentleman Irish mighty odd. He had a brogue both rich and sweet, and to rise in the world he carried a hod. But Tim had a bit of a tibbler's way, for I love the liquor he was born, and to send the monies away each day, he'd a drop of the cradle every morn. Whack pull it down when you dance to your partner around the floor with your trotters shake. Isn't it the truth? I tell you, lots of fun at Finnigan's wake. Now one morning Tim was rather full, his head felt heavy which made him shake. He fell off the ladder and he broke his skull, then they carried him home, his corpse to wake. Oh, they wrapped him up in a nice clean sheet, they laid him out upon the bed, with a bottle of whiskey at his feet and a bottle of porter at his head. Whack pull it down when you dance to your partner around the floor with your trotters shake. Isn't it the truth? I tell you, lots of fun at Finnigan's wake. Well, his friends assembled at the wake, and Mrs. Finnigan called for lunch. Well, first she brought them tea and cake, then pipes, tobacco and brandy punch. Then the widow Malone began to cry. Such a lovely corpse did you ever see? Much it's him aboard and why did you die? Well, you howl your cobs, says Molly McGee. Whack for the dow when you dance to your partners around the floor with your totters shake. Isn't it the truth? I tell you, lots of fun at Finnigan Wake. Oh, well, Mary Murphy took up the job. Biddy, she see you're wrong, I'm sure. Well, Biddy fetched her bells in the gob and left her sprawling on the floor. A civil war did then engage. 'Twas woman to woman and man to man. Shillelagh law was all the rage, and a row and a ruction it soon began. What will it now when you dance to your partner around the floor with your totters shake? Isn't it the truth? I tell you, lots of fun at Finnigan Wake. Oh, Tim Maloney ducked his head when a bottle of whiskey flew at him. He ducked and landing on the bed, the whiskey scatters over Tim. Me daddy revives and see how he rises. Tim Finnigan rising in the bed, saying, twiddle your whiskey around like blazes. Be the toilet and jaded, do you think I'm dead? Whack for the dow, you dance to your partner around the floor with your totters shake. Isn't it the truth? I tell you, lots of fun at Finnigan's Wake. How would you know one game ball?